The legend of Blackwood Forest. Deep in the heart of Blackwood Forest, there was a legend that had been passed down from generation to generation. It was said that a terrible monster lurked in the shadows, waiting to prey upon unsuspecting travelers. The legend had been dismissed by many as mere superstition, but there were those who knew better. They had seen the creature with their own eyes, and they knew that it was real. One such person was a young woman named Emily. She had grown up in the nearby village and had heard the stories of the monster from a young age. She had always been fascinated by the legend and had spent many hours wandering through the forest, searching for any sign of the creature. One day, Emily decided to venture deeper into the forest than she ever had before. She had heard rumors that the monster's lair was located somewhere in the heart of the forest, and she was determined to find it. As she walked deeper into the forest, the air grew colder, and the trees grew closer together. She felt as though she was being watched from all sides, and she could hear strange rustling noises in the underbrush. After several hours of wandering through the forest, Emily came to a small clearing. In the center of the clearing stood an old, abandoned cabin. Emily had never seen the cabin before, and she wondered if it had any connection to the legend of the monster. As she approached the cabin, she felt a sense of unease settle over her. The windows were boarded up, and the door was tightly shut. She wondered if anyone had lived in the cabin in years. Despite her misgivings, Emily pushed open the door and stepped inside. The cabin was dark and musty, with cobwebs covering the walls and floors. She felt as though she was being watched from all sides, and she could hear strange noises coming from the shadows. Suddenly, she heard a low growl emanating from somewhere in the cabin. She turned around and saw a pair of glowing eyes staring at her from the darkness. She could see the outline of a massive creature, with razor-sharp claws and teeth, advancing towards her. Emily tried to run, but the creature was too fast. It lunged at her, and she felt its claws tear through her flesh. She screamed and tried to fight back, but it was no use. The creature was too strong. As Emily lay dying on the cabin floor, she knew that she had made a terrible mistake. She had been too curious about the legend of the monster, and now she was paying the ultimate price. Years passed, and the legend of the monster continued to spread throughout the village. People warned their children not to venture into the forest alone, and the cabin in the clearing became known as the haunted house. But despite the warnings, there were still those who were drawn to the forest, curious about the legend of the monster. And they too met their untimely end at the hands of the creature. The legend of Blackwood Forest continued to haunt the village for generations, a reminder of the dangers that lurked in the darkness. And even to this day, people still whisper about the terrible monster that roams the woods, waiting to prey upon those foolish enough to seek it out.